Good day, everybody. Welcome to my end of semester statistics project on the influence of an individual's educational level on his or his political interest in the United Kingdom. My name is Kekinano Safuachi, a computer science major of the class of 2024 at Ashishi University. My presentation consists of a brief introduction to expatiate on my reason for tackling this research question, along with my research questions and associations. I will then go on to describe the methods I use to perform inferential tests, display my results and findings, present a moderation to my research, and conclude by discussing my findings. As stated earlier, my topic for deliberation is the influence of the educational level of an individual on his or her political interest in the United Kingdom. The issue of political interest is very dear to me as I aspire to become a politician one day. Consequently, I normally have educated exchanges with random people on social media talking about basically anything politics. I had an encounter with one Joe Isiakwa expressing his plight of not wanting to do anything political related due to his increased knowledge on the extremely dubious activities of politicians. After our conversation and exchange, we decided to do personal surveys to test and see if individuals in varying educational levels thought like him, with the results of the test displayed on the screen. This statistics project, in light of this altercation, gave me the opportunity to delve deeper with more detailed statistics on the impact increased educational levels have on the political interest of individuals. According to Pearson, education increases the civic skills of individuals, causing them an increased cognitive ability, thereby affecting their interest and participation. Bommel and Hemlick, however, provided a surprising turn of events as they described political interest being spiked from endogenous means such as parents being highly educated and interested in politics. This provided a deeper perspective as to how not only formal education is a factor for improving political interest and participation, but homekeeping. In my quest to properly deliberate on the topic at hand, my research question is: does the level of education of an individual influence his political interest and participation in the United Kingdom? The association I thereby tested was: is there an association between educational level of the individual and his or her political interest in the United Kingdom? Carrying on to the method section. The method section is split into two parts, namely sample and measures. For sampling, the data set used was the European Social Survey 9, with collation period being from June 2018 to October 2019, with a total sample size of 49,519 respondents. Multi-stage sampling was the sampling type used for the data collection. I thereby went on to subset by selecting the United Kingdom and ended up having 2,204 respondents aged 15 and above who had gone through face-to-face testing. The ESS 9 data consisted of educational levels being presented with many educational standings. Thus, to make it easier for myself, I subsetted the educational levels into secondary education, tertiary education, and others. Now to the inferential test on my association. By virtue of the fact that both response and explanatory variables were categorical, I needed to use the chi-square test for independence to test. My null hypothesis was, and I read, there is no association between an individual's education level and interest in politics in the United Kingdom. They are independent. And my alternate hypothesis was, there is an association between an individual's level of education and interest in politics in the United Kingdom. Thus, they are dependent. My results proved a seemingly obvious fact that as educational levels increased, political interest of the individuals in the United Kingdom increased. This was buttressed by the fact that the chi-square test produced a p-value which was far less and lies outside the 95% confidence interval, thereby rejecting the null hypothesis and proving that yes, there is an association between the educational level and political interest. From the graph, it is obvious that those in tertiary institutions were more interested in political activities than those in the secondary educational levels. However, the other levels of education, which factored both the old-aged and learned, showed senses of political interest due to certain environmental factors like socialization and by virtue of their upbringings. Looking further into my results, I moderated in terms of gender and realized that educated males in the UK were more politically interested than females. Research proved that factors like gender, inequalities of political appointments, and lack of influence on political turnouts by women caused them to have no real zeal for politics. Further research from Europe also showed that women were not entirely honest about their political interests due to their feelings that their ideas are neglected in the long run. As I conclude, I believe the following are as clear as day. In the UK, individuals of higher education levels are more interested in politics than those of lower education levels. Unobservable factors like socialization and properly educated upbringing are key to spiking political interest and not primarily formal education. Intellectual upbringings of individuals are key to embedding patriotic values in their individuals in early ages. And finally, educated men in the UK between years of 2018 and 2019 were more interested in politics, with women not interested due to thoughts of ideas not being considered. This can be cured by abolishing the thoughts that comes with such appointments. This being said, it has been proven evident that the educational level of the individual thus factor in the political interest of the individual in the UK. Thank you. Thank you very much and have a wonderful day.